Before we begin these recaps, The Tattooist of Auschwitz is based on a true story. It's a harrowing, hard-hitting drama about the Holocaust, and it obviously references one of the worst periods in human history. With that in mind, we will not be including any memes, silly anecdotes, or cutaways as part of our coverage of this show. We will not disrespect the honour of those who passed away and those who survived and had to endure the horrors of World War II. Thank you. Episode 6 of The Tattooist of Auschwitz begins this finale with Lali awakening in Austria. He's with the Russians, and for the first time, he's not awoken by the sound of drumming. He has milk, food, clean clothes, and a bed. It's heaven, at least on the surface anyway. Lali is a prisoner of the Russian army, and he goes around asking the women in town for them to show up at a party. Specifically, the soldiers want more women there. There are prizes, which include cash and jewellery, apparently, and even married women are allowed to show too. While Lali is locked up in his room, the women that he brings in are hurt and basically raped. Heather encourages Lali to take the step to embrace his past. It's here that we see this scene play out in horrific, chilling detail. We also see that Lali was kept there for weeks, and it took that long for the Russians to trust him and leave him alone. With the officer distracted inside the bar, Lali manages to grab a bike and hightail it away, thanks in part to one of the women, the same one whom he encouraged to go to the party. He hands over the gear and rushes back to Slovakia, but when he returns home, it's not the same as it was before. It's quiet, eerily so. However, Lali does find an unlikely soul there. It's his sister. She was hidden, and it was only a few days after Lali left that everything went awry. It was chaos, and all this, the sacrifice he made to protect his family, seems to have been for nothing. She's been hiding all this time. She hears his story about Gita and hands over the wedding ring from their mother. She smiles at her brother and tells him that this is for Gita. And with the horse and carriage, Lali takes off to Bratislava as promised. As for Gita, she manages to make it to the nearby village, but despite eating, she can't keep anything down and she vomits it back up. This is, of course, a side effect of hunger deprivation, and despite being the most delicious thing she's tasted, Gita struggles. The Russians have taken over their village, and unfortunately, if they're found to be harbouring the pair, they'll be in trouble. Even worse, they're nothing to the Russians, and although they can hide in the attic, they can't be seen or heard. Gita and Hannah go through a horrific ordeal when one of the men tries to rape Hannah out in the wilderness too, but Gita plays possum and manages to stop him, smashing the guy over the head with a stick. When Lali makes it to the city, he notices his old place of work abandoned and boarded up. He heads to the church though and writes a message asking for Gita, pinning it on the same notice board where so many others have put their faith that their note will be read. Gita does also make it to Bratislava, which she checks over the notice board, the same one Lali left a note for her on, and decides to give up. However, as fate would have it, she hears Lali outside, and just like that, the pair are reunited. In fact, they soon get married too and secure their love for one another. Lali believes their best days are ahead of them and they've lived their worst as they secure their vows. The pair wanted a happy ending and they were chasing it. However, a knock at the door one afternoon changes everything. Two policemen want to see Lali and he encourages them to come inside. It turns out they carry a request from a German law firm who are representing an ex-SS officer, a statement for them, not against. A Nazi officer is on trial for war crimes and he's asking for Lali's assistant, and the name? Stefan Boretsky. Lali explains that their life was anything but happy after the time in the camps. The horrors followed them to Australia, and between many years of nightmares and sadness, the past came to haunt them, like a sick dog, according to Lali. Gita has been unable to heal over time. Hannah, though, actually happens to be pregnant. This causes a rift between Lali and Gita, as Lali doesn't know what to do to help his beloved, or how to handle the Boretsky situation. After all, Boretsky was the one who helped get them together, in a weird way, and he's done a lot to secure the pair's future. However, he's also a psychotic murderous swine, so there is that too. Gita chimes in and explains she wants to go back to Europe and see her home, and catch up with Mimi. Lali realises he can't fix this and decides to let her go. With Gita gone, Lali is left to try and confront the past. And what is the truth? After all, Boretsky said he was like a brother to him, and their weird bond over time causes Lali to do what he believes is right. He writes his letter and sends it to the German consul. So what did he write? Well, he put in the note that Boretsky was there and Lali witnessed him murder many people. Boretsky went to prison for this testimony, where he ends up killing himself. This explains some of the guilt Lali feels right now and why he's seeing Boretsky's ghost haunt him. Lali explains to Heather that if it were not for Boretsky, then he would be dead. So Lali is left to live with this guilt while condemning the officer to his death. This explains why he's so conflicted. In the past, Gita returns after her trip. She explains to Lali that she head to their old apartment and reminisced on their past. She almost didn't get on the plane, given she was sick. She went to a doctor who's actually told her that she's pregnant. So what happens to Lali and Gita? Well, they both have their child, but here, in the present, Lali explains that he doesn't want his son to go back to the camps with him. Instead, he encourages Heather to come with him by his side. She agrees to do just that, given all they've shared, but he never gets that far. In fact, Lali goes to lie down and passes away that afternoon, seeing a younger Gita with their son, singing lullabies together. together. As the series draws to a close, there's some lovely documentarian footage afterwards of Lali being interviewed on screen, and a harsh, stark reminder of just how horrific the concentration camps were. And that is where the Tattooist of Auschwitz comes to an end. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.